All right. Let's call to order the December 19th meeting of the Murrieta City Council. Roll call. Madam City Clerk.
Councilmember Warren.
Present.
Councilmember Lavelle.
Here.
Councilmember Holliday.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Stone.
Here.
Mayor DeForest.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all members are present.
Madam City Clerk, are there any public comments on closed session items only?
Seeing none.
Thank you. Announcement into closed session. Madam City Clerk, we will be going over the closed session agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. City Council, as listed on the agenda, will meet in closed session for 2 items. CS1, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. The City Council will conduct a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.92 because there is a significant exposure to litigation in 3 cases. The City Council will also be here, CS2, conference with real property negotiator. The City Council will conduct a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 to enable the City Council to consider negotiations and to give direction to its negotiators regarding that certain real property. 11 Town Square, Murrieta, 92562, with Summer Helene. The city's real property negotiator, the city manager, assistant city manager, and city attorney will seek direction from the City Council regarding the price and terms for this property. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Madam City Clerk. With that, done so eloquently, we will now go into closed session and reconvene at 6 p.m. for our regular meeting. Good evening, everyone. We are reconvening the December 19th meeting of the Murrieta City Council from our closed session. Before we get started, I'd like to make an announcement that City Hall will be closed for the holiday beginning Monday, December 25th, reopening on Tuesday, January 2nd. All essential services will still operate, with services available online as well. Moving on to Madam City Attorney, would you please provide a report from our closed session?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The City Council met in closed session on 4 items. The first item, the council authorized the rejection of a claim by Liberty Mutual. The other 2 items were anticipated litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.92. On those items, the council was updated, no reportable action. The 4th item was to confer with its real property negotiator regarding 11 Town Square in Murrieta, California, with Summer Helene pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. On that item, the council was updated. Again, no reportable action. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Roll call. Madam City Clerk, would you please determine a quorum for us?
Councilmember Warren.
Here.
Councilmember Lavelle.
Here.
Councilmember Holliday.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Stone.
Here.
Mayor DeForest.
Here.
Let the record reflect all members are present.
Thank you so very much. Moving on, we will be doing our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation, and I think we have Pastor Gino in the very front row. Thank you, sir, from Orchard Church. And if I could invite you up to also lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance to start. I'll have everyone stand, please. Thank you, Pastor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. I thank you for this honor, by the way. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Let's all bow our hearts. Heavenly Father, we come before you with gratitude. You are the Most High, and you are holy, righteous, just, and good. We thank you for being a God of love who is with us now in this very room. You never leave us or forsake us. Your grace has brought us safe thus far, and your grace will lead us home. We thank you for making each one of us, every person we meet, every citizen of this city, and every city in your own image with the dignity and infinite worth. We thank you for the calling you have given every one of us to be good stewards of your creation and to love our neighbor as ourselves. I thank you tonight, O God, for these your servants, our mayor pro tem, our city attorney, our city manager, our city staff, and our city council members. I give thanks for the way they serve, and the way they have chosen to take this up on behalf of all of us here. We all come to this room tonight carrying our burdens, carrying joy and hope, trusting that you alone can hold us together, O God, in your love and peace. Help us, Lord, to trust you more than our fears and our wounds, even our accomplishments. We lean on your everlasting arms tonight. I pray all this in Jesus' name, and everyone says,
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Moving on to presentations. Kind of an exciting night tonight here. We have a certificate of recognition for our Pop Warner football team. Super excited for this. I'll take it from you, Madam City Clerk. On behalf of the City of Murrieta, we are pleased to congratulate Murrieta Pop Warner team for being part of the top 8 teams out of their 1,600 9U teams in the nation. Their efforts and dedication have earned them a top spot to attend the Pop Warner Super Bowl hosted in Orlando. And I bet that was a lot of fun for you guys. So if I could invite you to the front, we would love to take a picture with you and congratulate you again for your effort. And out of 1,600 teams, that is absolutely amazing. So I know I saw and I've spoke to and kind of was texting back and forth with Coach Matt. So if you want to come on up and bring your team, Coach Matt, we'd love to take a picture with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going down the stairs. Hang on.
Okay. Just have everyone look this way. All right, 1, 2, 3. Fabulous. Yeah. Perfect.
A little off guard, but I just wanted to say, for the record, we want to thank the city of Murrieta for all their support. I know they were rooting us on. We fell literally 1 foot short in the semifinals, so we went there as a top 8 team in the nation. We beat Colorado in the first round, and we lost to Ohio 0-6, and Ohio ended up winning it all. So the team you're looking at right here is really the 3rd ranked team in the nation. So.
And the room clears. But I like it, their siblings are proud of them too. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The siblings are all here.
So cute. So cute.
There's me and the rest of you.
Thank you for joining us again this evening, and congratulations. All right, Madam City Clerk. All right.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
We're moving on to approval of the agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. All right. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Seeing none?
Can we call for a motion and second to approve the agenda, please?
Right. There we go. Thank you, Councilmember Holliday. Motion carries unanimously, 5-0.
Oh, thank you. All right. Madam City Manager, do we have an administrative report tonight?
We do. So I'm very pleased to announce that the city was recently named, and recently, I mean like today, a top workplace by the Inland Empire magazine for 2023. A few months ago, we conducted a survey of our employees through a third-party consultant, and based on their responses, we were selected to receive this award. So I know all of you and all of us feel it's very important to have engaged employees, and we work very hard at that. And so to have received this award based on their feedback was really important to us. So we're happy about that. And then I would just like to wish on behalf of staff, everyone have a safe holiday and a very happy new year. And that concludes my announcements.
Oh, thank you so much, Madam City Manager. Moving on to Governing Board and Commission Committee reports. Governing Board reports, opportunity for City Council to provide a brief report on conferences, seminars, and commissions and committee or board meeting attendance. Report shall not exceed 3 minutes. Councilmember Warren will start us off tonight.
Oh, yes, I will. Hi, everyone. I attended the RCTC, which stands for Riverside County Transportation Commission, on the 13th of December. And I know this is going to come to a shock to everybody, but we did approve we approved a agreement with Parsons Transportation Group to provide project and construction management services for Interstate 15 Express Lanes Project Southern Extension for an 8-year term in amount of $78,702,500, plus a contingency amount of another $7.8 million, for a total not to exceed $86.5 million. This means we are moving forward. So it may not happen in my lifetime, but I tell you, it's the southern section is moving forward. It at least get to Lake Elsinore. So that's what we're looking for right now. It's going to be done in phases. So just to get this on the way and started is a really good progress for this commission. I was very proud of that. Also, just a reminder that the freeway closures, the project will require, the 7191 will require nightly full closures Monday through Wednesday, westbound between State 71 and Green River beginning December the 11th through January the 24th of 2024. However, due to the holidays, no closures will be scheduled from December 20th through January 1st, and they will resume on Tuesday, January 2nd. So make sure to check your route before you get stuck on the freeway. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Warren. Councilmember Lavelle.
Thank you, Mayor. I had the privilege of representing Murrieta at the SCAG, Southern California Association of Governments, the Economic Summit this year. I was up there with Mayor Pro Tem Stone and a few of our fellow staffers. It was, other than the drive to LA, it was a great time. So I'll let Ms. Stone elaborate on what we learned, but thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Holliday.
I had no meetings at either of the commissions I attend, so I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Stone.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As Councilmember Lavelle alluded, that we both, and along with staff, attended the SCAG Economic Development Summit. And I found that their statistics a little interesting, and my colleague over here kind of questioned the statistics, especially with regards to healthcare. So not sure if they were on point. But the most interesting part of this summit was AI, how AI is affecting negatively businesses and also positively affecting businesses. And so SCAG is undecided at this point, the direction or the support of AI. And just to give you an example how it's affecting our industry, as you know, the Writers Guild was on strike, and the #1 issue was AI. And if they brought AI in to write scripts, they would bring the writers in to proofread and make suggestions and recommendations. But the writers will not get the royalties because AI actually created it. So by standing strong, they were able to continue being the writers of the movie industry, TV industry, and so therefore, that would have been a very negative impact on somebody's income for the future. So again, we're just gonna sit back and see how this develops over the next decade. So that concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem. And my governing body announcements, you can read the various events that I went to. It was really nice to do Donuts with Santa, which is the first picture that I showed there. All the donuts and coffee were donated by Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you for that. Also, we all participated in a decoration for trees to be given to various different needy families. And there's a picture of the family that got my tree through Millvet. So that was really special to be able to do that. There were some great trees. And then attended Santa Stops, which was a lot of fun and not too cold. But the trolleys were quite a lot of fun. We almost took out an elf, though, overheating in the costume from too much dancing, but it was quite fun. But the rest you could read, as well as Shop with a Cop. That was a great event as well. So also it was nice to be able to help fill up the U-Haul with donated food. And if you need to reach me, always available via my city email or my cell phone. Thank you so much. All right. And that concludes my report and everyone else's for this evening. And we're moving on to public comments of a non-agendized items. Madam City Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Any person may address the governing bodies on any subject pertaining to city business. Normally, no action may be considered or taken by the governing bodies on any matter not listed on the agenda. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Arthur Amor.
Welcome, Arthur. Right to the front there.
My first time doing this. Okay.
Yes, well, welcome.
Good evening, City Council members. My name is Art Amor. I'm a resident of Murrieta. I appreciate this opportunity to speak with you. I came to own a home rather late in life. After living nearly 2 decades abroad, I was fortunate enough to find my piece of the American dream right here in Old Town Murrieta, right before prices began their steady rise in late 2015. I must admit, it wasn't love at first sight. I dreamed of a conventional stick-built home with a garage, just like my stepmom's house in Red Hawk, Temecula. What I got was an aging single-wide mobile on some land. It was all I could afford. No problem. It didn't take me long to realize I had found a diamond in the rough. My neighborhood is quiet, peaceful, close to everything, and my neighbors are great. That would include an elderly gentleman across the street from me named Garrett Mills. Garrett is always helping others, and when he saw I had no place to store my excess belongings, including those of my 92-year-old mother who is in assisted living, he found for me a modest shipping container. It was for sale in nearby Wildemar. We struck a deal with the seller. As a result, I was able to vacate an expensive storage unit. In barely 3 to 4 months, the container paid for itself. I have since saved thousands. Like Garrett, I am a senior citizen living on a fixed income. I supplement that with a small import-export venture that was inspired by my many years living and working in Japan. Business was good until COVID struck. Almost overnight, I saw my shipping costs quadruple, and for the next 2 years, I barely survived. Thankfully, prices have since stabilized. Things were getting back to normal when I received another blow. It came in the form of a new municipal code informing me, and I assume many of my neighbors, that we could no longer be able to have sea containers on our property. I was stunned. I struggled to understand why. The structures are a perfect solution for those of us who only have carports and no garage. They are affordable, and with proper positioning and a coat of paint, can be made to blend in nicely with the home and its surroundings. I wondered if the city's decision was part of an effort to clean up or gentrify an area. If anything, I would see containers enhance an area's appeal. After all, they seem quite popular these days. Aside from basic storage, people are turning them into attractive living spaces. An acquaintance of mine just returned from New Zealand describes to me a trendy shopping mall. It's comprised of numerous sea containers that have been stacked, offset, cantilevered, and painted bright colors. The end result is a retail outlet that is all the rage with locals. It's even been featured in a major architectural magazine. As stated earlier, I was shocked by my city's decision. It has shaken my image of the American dream, too. I always thought if you were a law-abiding citizen, a good neighbor, and you kept a clean, tidy place, no one would bother you. Friends in cookie-cutter housing tracts, the kind I initially dreamed of living in, always complained to me bitterly about their HOAs, home ownership associations. Oh, I timed myself. I thought at 2 minutes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Annette Jennings.
Welcome, Annette.
Hello, Mayor DeForest, Pro Tem Lori Stone, council members, staff, and the community. I'm here just to give you a brief update about the Murrieta Historical Society and the Murrieta Museum and what has been taking place in 2023. This past year, we've had a little over 1,000 visitors at the museum. We have done tours for seven third graders and 1 high school tour, which is our first high school tour this year, plus scout troops, private tours, and our own walking tours in the historic downtown. The museum had 3 special events, including helping Pearl's Steampunk Tea Party. The Murrieta Museum and Historical Society has participated in several outreach events, such as Murrieta Market Nights, 2 days at the Southern California Railroad Museum for Dino Days, History Day in Temecula, Hay Day at Vail Headquarters, and Touch a Truck at the library. 2024 is looking really good for more outreach programs. We've already have a bunch on our calendar for next year. Most of these outreach programs are out of the city, and we are expecting to go more like San Bernardino County. We have a couple of those coming up next year, and we're happy to represent the city of Murrieta and the rich history of Murrieta. The historical sticker program was very successful, and we all want to thank you for being our partners. We have been tracking the visitors on this project since September, and we have had 388 hits on our QR code alone, and 21 hits from different countries, such as Russia, Philippines, Poland, Iraq, Canada, Mexico, Germany, Belgium, and France. So those are the ones that actually came and took a picture of our code. It's been a pleasure working with the Murrieta Hot Springs Resort, and we're excited to see the resort open. We're also offering a walking tour before they open to talk about the history of the hot springs and what is new in the future for the hot springs. So if anybody's interested in our tour, please go to our website, murrietahistory.org. Spaces are limited, and we're about half full already. The museum has continued to stay busy with oral interviews, scanning, archiving photos, and documents. So I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, and all you guys have a good, safe holiday.
You too.
Amy Edgeworth.
Welcome, Amy. No train with you tonight.
It's all wrapped up at home.
Literally.
Good evening, City Council and fellow residents of Murrieta. As we gather tonight, please let's take a moment to pause for the memory of those who are no longer with us. This evening, I share a personal narrative that echoes in the hearts of my family, the story of Pearl, It's a tale that begins and ends with a curious Christmas card sewn face down in a family scrapbook. But let's turn the pages back to a happier chapter, captured in my favorite newspaper excerpt from spring 1894. It tells of a wedding day like no other. There was a rather unusual occurrence at the residence of S.O. Taggart, i.e. a wedding without a bridegroom. The gentleman in this case was expected to arrive from California on the day before, but when Thursday's train came in without him, Miss Pearl wisely decided not to allow so small a matter to interfere with the pleasure of the occasion. Donning her wedding garment, she received and entertained her guests with the best of grace, and the merrymaking went on just the same as though all had been regular. And the young people remained until the 2:00 train, which brought the tarrying bridegroom. The shower of rice that greeted his arrival, it is hoped, taught him a lesson on the value of time he will not soon forget. And when the last farewells were said, the pair left on the midnight train for their future home in Ontario, California, where the good wishes of many friends attend them. This snippet of history paints Pearl as a woman of remarkable resilience and cheer, a beacon of light even in unexpected circumstances. However, by late summer, Pearl's story took a heart-wrenching turn. A telegram from Will, her husband, sent a shiver through our family. August 20th, Pearl is failing fast. Will start home Monday, 11 p.m. The newspaper captured the gravity of her illness. Mrs. Coates, née Pearl Taggart, is failing from lung trouble and is now on her way home to see her parents. But nothing prepared us for the final news. Mrs. W. Coates has passed quietly away from this life of toil and suffering. She had only been home 2 weeks and 2 days when the Savior, in his wisdom, saw fit to take her away from this life to life beyond. She was loved and highly esteemed by all who knew her. By her kind and gentle manner, she made friends wherever she went. There could be none other taken from our midst that would recall as much regret, yet the Lord knoweth best whom to take to his kingdom. So as we reflect on this story, the upside-down Christmas card in the scrapbook takes on new meaning. It's not just a piece of paper, it's a symbol of a life cherished, a reminder of the fragile beauty of existence. In closing, I invite you to remember Pearl's story and the Christmas card, a poignant emblem of our shared human journey. Let's carry these stories in our hearts, not just during the holiday season, but always as we work to build a community as resilient and loving as Pearl herself. Thank you for allowing me to share a piece of my heritage. Let's move forward, inspired by Pearl's legacy, cherishing each moment and each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
Connie McConnell.
Welcome, Connie.
Well, it's a hard act to follow, these two. They're prepared, they have all their notes, and I just come up and start talking. So I want to say, basically, I'm here tonight to thank you guys, the staff, Kristen, the council have helped us so much with not only Murrieta Market Nights, but Murrieta Arts Council. Annette's given you an update on the Historic Council, so I don't need to do that. But we really are grateful for all the encouragement and help that we've gotten this year. And hallelujah, we have decorations. It's so exciting. And there's not much of an audience here tonight, but anyway, they all left with the Little Leaguers. I just really wanted to, again, thank you for that and remind you that we are really looking forward to getting an arts in public places on the books. So we're still gonna be bugging you guys about that and doing it in a timely manner. An update for the staff. We're not sure about the market this week because of the rain. It will probably go on, but we really won't know until tomorrow sometime or maybe into the evening. So if it does go on, we hope to see you all there. And I just, again, want to thank you for all the help you've given us this year. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Connie.
Joy. And Madam Mayor, I have a request from Joy for additional time.
Yes, that's fine. 6 minutes?
Our system does 5 at a time. Is it okay if I do 5 and then you can direct me as needed?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Welcome, Joy. And friend.
thank you for this opportunity again to speak. I feel like I'm prepared, and then I make my way up, and I'm losing it. So thank you for your patience and your attention. I have heard that peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of justice. I feel a little all over the map, and I apologize. This is an otherwise happy holiday season, but it's like the holidays come with a sense of joy and cheerfulness and the spirit of giving and love. And as someone mentioned earlier, taking that moment for those who are no longer with us, I would just like to acknowledge the manner in which some of the brightness of the holidays, it does not meet everyone in the same way. And that some who struggle to hold on to hope lose their battles. Many people who are disabled do not have visible disabilities. I'm one of them. Once I open my mouth, it becomes a little more obvious, or when my body is hijacked by my pain condition, it becomes more apparent, but otherwise it may not be noticeable. And I'm gonna try and focus. I apologize. Finding commonality and understanding isn't impossible. That's what I want to focus and ask your attention into. Finding commonality and understanding is not impossible. Growing up in the 70s, neighbors to our left were Mormon, to our right were Catholic. Across the street was a secular house full of beer-drinking young men who worked hard and worshiped football and good times. They were raised by a single father. Our home was a blend of Jews and Christians with a little touch of Buddhism. And up and down our street were Lutherans, Baptists, Pentecostals, Jehovah's Witnesses, Hindus, Buddhists, and Muslims. Virtually every sect and denomination was represented. Whether secular or religious devotees, everyone on our block managed to carry on with civility and kind friendship. Inside our home, there was constant conflict over religion between my parents, and that experience taught me some painful lessons, but ultimately it opened my heart with graceful regard for the multitude of religions throughout the world. But in the neighborhood, whatever our unique differences, we were all unified in the roots of our morally driven ideologies. And we shared and we played nicely together. Traits like honor, integrity, self-respect, compassion, and empathy kept peace, built trusted friendship, and created cheerful gatherings, potlucks, and pool parties. No one raged on about 2A rights or freaked out about their neighbors' different customs, traditions, or sex partners. We shared, we got along, we celebrated, we grieved, we protected each other because we cared enough to selflessly care for others. The golden rule was understood and lived out with quiet strength. Now, here, it seems we're breeding a bunch of foolish, selfish, and entitled, fearful people who lack in self-control and respect and just can't seem to stop themselves from screaming and shouting about how their political or religious idol must be worshipped, and how their God brand is bigger and badder and must be followed under penalty of persecution, death threats, and eternal damnation.
Would you please wrap it up? Thank you.
Yes. Arrogance plus ignorance equals disaster. Finding commonality and understanding is not impossible, but it does take humble self-awareness and conscious effort. I wanted to address, well, I'm just gonna say, please choose wisely. Please use your powers for good, and make your neighborhood friendly and safe for all residents. Make your hearts safe spaces too, because everyone deserves authentic love. And the reason for coming up beyond stating that is that I have been targeted here in this community by other citizens who refuse to adhere to our understood code of conduct and rules regarding keeping our dogs on leashes. And I'm here in attempt to reclaim some of my power lost, because I don't want for my disability to be visible. But I have been targeted, and I have been verbally attacked and followed by people whose sense of entitlement is now coming after me. I've spoken to one or two people outside of last council meeting, and I'm here to reiterate, because immediately following my last interaction with our local police department, I was charged by no less than 2 dogs off leash, 2 others mocking me, and I had to call 911 because my disability became visible.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments, and we heard what you have to say. Thank you so very much.
Thank you all. And Merry, Happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy.
That concludes public comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. Moving on to the consent calendar. Approval of items 1 through 8. Items in the consent calendar are considered routine and may be enacted by one motion and vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless specific items are removed from the consent calendar for separate motions. Are there any requests from any of the City Council to pull any consent calendar items for discussion or abstaining from a vote? Seeing none? Madam City Clerk, are there any members of the public requesting to speak on a consent calendar item?
Seeing none.
Thank you. May we call for a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
Motion carries unanimously, 5-0.
Thank you so much. Moving on to reorganization, what everybody's been waiting for this evening. Selection of presiding officers. We are now moving it forward to the selection of presiding officers. Madam City Clerk, if you could please preside over this section of the mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As noted on the agenda, the reorganization will be conducted pursuant to City Council Rules of Procedure, Resolution 19-4178. Qualifications for presiding officers are as follows. The mayor shall have served at least 2 years on the City Council. The mayor shall have served as mayor pro tem at some time prior to serving as mayor, with normal progression being from mayor pro tem to mayor. The mayor pro tem shall have served at least 1 year on the City Council. Term for both positions shall be 1 year. The order will be as follows. As a city clerk, I will deem that all city council members are on an equal basis to nominate and elect. Nominations do not require a second, and they are non-debatable. There may be more than one nomination. If there is more than one nomination, there will be a paper ballot vote. A motion and a second is required to close nominations. Upon closing of nominations, I will do a roll call vote. Upon the election of the new mayor, he or she will take the center seat. Following the election of the mayor will be the election of the mayor pro tem. The new mayor pro tem will preside over this process in the same manner. Upon the mayor pro tem's election, they will take the seat directly to the right of the mayor. Do I have any questions from any council members?
You're crystal clear.
Very good.
I've been waiting to say that.
I'm going to now take public comment. Is that okay, Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Tiffany Nalaboff.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Nalaboff with Tiffany and Nalaboff Investigations. I've been hired by Murrieta residents to email written documents between your council, the city, and my clients about ethical concerns regarding Mayor Pro Tem Lori Stone. Based on Stone's actions, my clients are fearful of retaliation. Tonight, I speak solely on behalf of my clients.
Could you move
will read
the
a
microphone
statement.
closer to you? So, yeah, thank you.
Tonight, I speak solely on behalf of my clients. I will read a statement that does not necessarily reflect my own opinions or beliefs, and I have not participated in any investigation about these ethical concerns. While Stone has made positive contributions, the alleged ethical violations must be resolved prior to the selection of new presiding officers. The concerned Murrieta citizens now call for an official investigation. During the last year, Stone directed city staff to resources to promote her personal for-profit business venture for her own financial gain. Stone directed a city employee to contact Stone's campaign contributors and local businesses to solicit sponsorships for her own financial gain. Documented proof of the illegal use of the city employee has been submitted to your council, and it is your ethical duty to investigate and not dismiss this for political favors. One sponsorship contract at $10,000 involves the Murrieta Hot Springs Resort. Next involves a sponsorship contract with the developer Diversified Pacific, who currently has 2 project plans in review within the city. Another perceived conflict of interest involves Councilmember John Lavelle. Lavelle and his employer, Loma Linda Murrieta, contracted with Stone on her personal business venture for another sponsorship. This clearly is a financial conflict of interest. Also, Stone was Lavelle's campaign manager. On behalf of my clients, I'm providing the city clerk with copies of a complaint and demand for action by the Murrieta City Council dated December 4th, 2023, and a supplement to the complaint and demand dated December 18, 2023, which has already been given to your council. My clients request that these documents be entered into the public record for tonight's City Council meeting for public access. Based on the serious nature and quantity of alleged ethical violations, we urge you to resolve these issues prior to the consideration of new presiding officers and to launch an immediate and official investigation. Eyes are on each council member to be ethical, transparent, and accountable to the residents of Murrieta, as you pledged to uphold your code of conduct. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes public comment.
Do we have to fill out a piece of paper to ask a question?
Yeah, you'll do that at the city clerk. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Bonnie Sparkman.
Welcome, Bonnie.
Okay, I have a question, and I'm going to be really passionate about this with Lori Stone. She made a statement. Oh, she left. I want to know who the people are that are putting the money out there and all the time and the effort to do this to Lori. Because I believe there's an agenda here, and maybe that needs to be put forth too. But I think it should be public knowledge if you're going to put this out there, who the people are that are gathering, let's say, all this information. Do we have that information?
We don't.
You don't have that information. So you're telling me that who's ever putting all this stuff together and hiring a private investigator, you don't have that information?
Ma'am, if I could, you can't ask the questions of the council. You're just to give your public comment on this item.
Oh, sorry.
It's not a back and forth.
Okay.
Thank you.
So how do we get that information? As long as you're putting all this other information out there, I think it's only fair that we know all the facts, and because there's a couple people not here that are typically here, and I find it odd that they're not here tonight. So I just feel like their hands are in the mix here. So how do we, or I can't ask a question, you said, sorry. How do I phrase this? Where, oh, I can't ask that either. Well, I, for one, would like to know who is a part of this process. I can't ask that either. Sorry.
Thank you, Bonnie.
That concludes public comment. I now deem you all on an equal basis. Are we ready, City Council? Okay. I will now deem you all on an equal basis. Do I hear any nominations for mayor?
I will. Lori Stone.
I have Lori Stone, nominated by Councilmember Lavelle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Stone, do you accept the nomination?
I do, Madam City Clerk.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none? Is there a motion and a second to close nominations, please?
I move to close.
Second.
Was the second Mr. Lavelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to close nominations by roll call vote. Councilmember DeForest? To close the nominations.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Councilmember Stone?
Yes.
Councilmember Warren?
Yes.
Councilmember Holliday?
Yes.
Councilmember Lavelle?
Yes.
Since there is only one nomination, do I hear a motion and a second to appoint Councilmember Stone as mayor?
So moved.
Second.
I have a first, a motion and a second by Councilmember Holliday and by Councilmember Lavelle. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to call for the vote. Councilmember DeForest?
Yes.
Councilmember Stone?
Yes.
Councilmember Warren?
Yes.
Councilmember Holliday?
Yes.
Councilmember Lavelle?
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Congratulations, Councilmember Stone. You have been selected as mayor. Please take the center seat.
Are we going to move?
Let's just move her chair.
It's okay.
No, yeah. Yeah, is that okay? Take this.
Here you go. Hang on, let me move it for you. Got that? I'll grab your.
We're doing the mayor pro tem.
Yeah, and then you just.
It's going to be exactly like what happened. I'll walk you through.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and take a minute as I walk over.
Okay.
And then.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue with the selection of the presiding officers of Mayor Pro Tem. We will now move on the selection of Mayor Pro Tem. We will follow the same procedure as outlined by Madam City Clerk. With that being said, do I hear any nominations for Mayor Pro Tem?
I nominate Cindy Warren.
I will second. Oh. We don't need a second, never mind.
Councilmember Warren, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other nominations for Mayor Pro Tem? Seeing none, Madam Mayor.
Seeing none, is there a motion and a second to close the nominations?
Motion.
Second.
Madam City Clerk, please do a roll call to vote to close the nomination.
Councilmember DeForest,
Yes.
Mayor Stone,
Yes.
Councilmember Warren,
Yes.
Councilmember Holliday,
Yes.
Councilmember Lavelle.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. And now we're going to move on with one nomination. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, Madam Mayor, if you can ask to hear a motion and a second to appoint.
Okay, so if I can have a motion to move forward in a second?
Motion.
Second.
To appoint Cindy Warren as Mayor Pro Tem, is that correct?
That's correct.
May I call a roll call vote?
Yes, Madam City Clerk, will we please call for a roll call vote?
Councilmember DeForest,
Yes.
Mayor Stone,
Yes.
Councilmember Warren,
Yes.
Councilmember Holliday,
Yes.
Councilmember Lavelle.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Congratulations. You have been
Congratulations.
selected as NPC.
We would like to give the privilege of the floor extended to our outgoing mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations, Lori.
Thank you.
Reflecting on the past year, it has taken a team effort to accomplish the myriad of tasks during my time in the mayoral seat. First, I want to thank my colleagues on the City Council. Mayor Pro Tem, now Mayor, Lori Stone, Council Member, now Mayor Pro Tem, Cindy Warren, John Lavelle, and Ron Holliday, who have worked tirelessly over the past year reviewing staff reports and attending commissions, City Council, regional agency meetings, late into the night or early in the morning, meeting with residents and attending city and chamber events. As mayor this year, I realized the dozen of citizen volunteers that sacrifice each month to represent our community on city advisory commissions, boards, and ad hoc committees to consider issues involving youth, seniors, preservation, parks, library, development standards, transportation, finance, and public safety. With their professionalism and experience, these commissioners who provide a valuable service to our community and are often overlooked. Tonight, I would like to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude for their service to Murrieta. It has been a huge privilege and honor to serve you as mayor this year. I am proud of our accomplishments and the realization of our lofty goals that have progressed in a positive direction, if not come to fruition. Some of my most proudest accomplishments this year have been the public-private partnership with our downtown market nights, an unprecedented wheeling agreement with Western and Rancho Water for service-challenged areas, developmental standards for our multifamily residents, a $2.6 million for our innovation center from Supervisor Washington's office, a $900,000 for a mobile command post through our Congressman Ice's office, and facilitating a relationship with Mount San Jacinto College for a regional training center for and a first responder educational facility. This year, I have been in constant contact with our community through city functions, community events, seeing hundreds of patients each month, even at my practice. One constant comment is made over and over is that the quality of life in Murrieta is apparent by our commitment to police and fire. I want to thank our first responders for choosing what you do. Words cannot express the amount of gratitude and respect I have for all of you. Thank you for taking time away from your family to take care of others. Your hard work does not go unnoticed. I will continue to be so proud to be from a city that takes police and fire services to the highest level. As a council, we don't always agree, nor should we. It is our debating differences that we have represented the city in tough decisions. But I am in no doubt you are all here because you want to make a difference. We had a year of good grace, humor, progress, prosperity, and common passion for the city of Murrieta. Putting the city before politics is what should unite us. Also, we are fortunate to have the most incredible professional, competent staff working for us, implementing the city's vision, strategic plan, priorities throughout their day-to-day, serving our residents and our merchants. True public servants is what we have, who work hard with such passion, integrity, and creativity and talent. Thank you, staff. Let's keep nurturing them and showing our appreciation. I'm extraordinarily grateful for the privilege you've bestowed on me being your leader this past year. I'm not going away. I'm just moving over a seat or two. I am looking forward to serving in the capacity as councilwoman for the next year. I have done my best to serve the city and a council in all that has been done. Any achievements or progress that we have made or I have made is a collective endeavor, but it would not be possible except for one person in my life. I'm very fortunate to call him my husband, Lance. Through his endless love, advice, and support, and sacrifice, who has allowed me to be your mayor. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, everyone. It's been an honor.
Dr. DeForest, on behalf of the City Council, I would like to personally thank you for your leadership this past year. Your commitment to meet your goals, such as respectful communication, has been recognized and will remain with this council. As a new mayor, I will become familiar with meeting procedures, but will certainly lean on you if ever needed. I thank you for your guidance and enthusiasm, as it has been an integral part of our community's growth. With that, please accept this plaque as a token of our appreciation. So if we could all come down, council. I also would like to invite our city manager as well.
You need a wheelchair?
Whatever. Okay. No, I'm good. I'm good.
It was the getting up part, though.
Yeah. I just have that code. So on behalf of the entire city council, our city manager, and our staff, we just want to say thank you so much for your leadership.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Perfect.
At this time, we will have a reception for our outgoing mayor and also our incoming mayor. And we will be in the Veterans Lounge for some treats, and then we will reconvene in approximately 10 minutes. In 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we will reconvene from our reception. Good evening. We're now reconvening this December 19, 2023 regular city council meeting from our reception. And now we are on to public hearing. The adoption of an urgency ordinance pursuant to the California Government Code Section 65858, prohibiting the establishment of medical cannabis delivery businesses for 45 days to include an exemption from the California Environmental Quality Act. We will now move on to the public hearing. Are there any council members that would like to recuse themselves from this item? Seeing none. Hello, sir. How are you, Mr. Chancharatsu?
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
You're going to give us a report this evening?
I am. As you've indicated, the item before the council this evening is a consideration of a interim moratorium adopted by urgency ordinance pursuant to section 65858 of the California Government Code. The purpose is to prohibit the establishment of medical cannabis delivery businesses, again, for 45 days. The item is being brought before you by staff and with a recommendation for approval as a result of new state law, which is becoming effective on January 1st, 2024, which would allow the establishment of medical cannabis delivery businesses within the city. Staff is in the process of completing an ordinance to bring before the Planning Commission and the City Council to establish regulations which would deal with things like location, operational standards, security measures. So until such time as we can go through that ordinance process and have you consider these new regulations, state law allows for the adoption of a moratorium so that there aren't any businesses that could be established during the intervening period until we have the ordinance established. So with that, I would note that the passage of the urgency ordinance needs to be by 4/5 vote of the City Council in order to be effective. It would become effective immediately. So that concludes my report, and I will be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Council members, any questions at this time? I see Council Member Holliday in the queue. Sir?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. What is the time frame for getting it in front of Planning Commission?
We are on track to present it to the commission, their first meeting in January, which I believe is the 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
And then after that, it comes to council?
It'll come to council for your first meeting in February. You have a first reading, assuming the ordinance passes, and then a second reading. Right now, we anticipate the ordinance would be effective around the middle of March.
Which is more than 45 days from today.
Correct. We would need to come back before you to request an extension, and as part of the ordinance adoption of the regular ordinance, we would terminate the ordinance after the to be effective like the 31st day after the ordinance takes effect.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Holliday. Councilwoman Warren.
Well, it's Councilmember DeForest because we switched seats. That was pretty funny. It made me laugh.
That was funny.
And it hurts to laugh. So I just want to say thank you for bringing this forward. It's very important, and I look forward to that getting through planning as well. So thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Madam City Clerk, can we open up the public hearing, please? I'm sorry. Are there any public testimonies?
Seeing none.
Thank you. Moving on to council deliberation. Are there any additional comments from my colleagues? Okay, seeing none. Call for a motion in a second, please.
You can open the public hearing, Madam Mayor, please. You will go ahead and open it now.
Open up the public hearing now?
Yep, at 7:27. Thank you very much. And then there were no, yes, hit the gavel.
Hit the gavel.
And then with seeing no public comments and no council deliberation, you're going to go ahead and close the public hearing.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and then we will call for a motion in a second, and I see Mayor Pro Tem is sitting in my seat, so that should be changed to Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Warren. It looks like a second for Councilwoman Dr. Lisa DeForest.
Who's
Oh, look at it, switched.
I'm doing that, thank you. May I say who was the first?
It was
Warren.
Mayor Pro Tem Warren,
Got it.
and then second by Councilwoman Dr. Lisa DeForest. So we have a motion and a second.
Motion carries unanimously, 5-0.
Thank you very much. Moving on to governing body announcements. Announcements should not exceed 2 minutes, and the city clerk will use the computerized timer. And we will move to Council Member John LaBelle.
Thank you, Mayor Stone. I have, I think, one. Yeah. And there's a couple pictures. Oh, no, I have two. Sorry. I attended the Fresenius Dialysis Center ribbon cutting with the chamber and some city staff as well. It was a very great experience for me to be there. I mean, I saw that building be completed probably a couple of years ago minimum. I think it's been almost 3. So to see them finally get their license to operate and serve that population of people was a great moment. I think there's a lot of need in the community. So having them being able to serve and open their doors, great event to attend. And the Santa stops. I just want to put out there, thank you, Mr. Holliday, for initiating and spearheading this, bringing it back. I'll be candid. I did not, although I wanted to do it and I wanted to help it be done, I honestly didn't think I would have fun doing it. I thought it would be a service, and I can honestly say I had a lot of fun. It was magical, I guess, for lack of better words, and I'm happy you did, and I'm thankful I volunteered. I did 4 nights in a row, so by the 5th day, I was extremely tired. I got to see my daughters go to one of them at the very end. And, just seeing all the kids in the community and people talk about, the history with the stars and, them doing it as kids, and now they have kids. It was just a great experience for me to be part of and to have that be part of my Murrieta history as well. So thank you, and thank you for everyone that participated and made those Santa stops very special. That's all I have.
Thank you, Council Member LaBelle. Council Member DeForest.
I made my previous governing board announcements earlier, so I have nothing to extend.
Right. Thank you. Council Member Holliday.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And not that it's a competition, Councilmember Lavelle, but I did 6 nights, so you're a little slack in there. Yeah, the Santa stops are amazing. I talked about that last time. A couple of things I wanted to highlight from my list that you can see online. The Project Touch Shelter from the Storm fundraiser I went to recently, and man, they are doing some amazing things. I sure am glad we are partnering with them. They certainly help out our homeless situation. I know Brian works very closely with them. What a great organization. I can't say enough about them. And then I attended a webinar from our insurance commissioner on the housing insurance crisis that California is facing. And I was typing an email to our fire chief telling him all about this webinar and what I'm seeing and what the city is doing. And then in the chat, there's a question that pops up from Bernard Malloy. I'm like, oh, he's already here. As usual, he's one step ahead. And it was comforting to know that he's on the same page as I am, that the city needs to do everything we can to help our residents, and he has already been working on that. Asked a great question that he didn't get a good answer to from our insurance commissioner, and is why isn't the fire department being looped in on some of this stuff? They have no committee for the fire department. I get committees for everything else, but for fire insurance, why would you include fire departments? That makes no sense. So through his efforts, we're going to try and get those committees set up and other things that are going to help Californians be able to afford insurance for their homes. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Holliday. Mayor Pro Tem Warren. How's that sound?
Different. Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Stone. How's that sound? I said I'd give it right back at you. I do have a few things. I did one stop. I got sick. So I did one, and I had a great time, but I did get sick, so I couldn't do any more. So it was a lot of fun. On December the 6th, I attended the Murrieta Police Department swearing in and promotional ceremony. What a great group of officers and dispatchers and record keepers. It's always done with class and respect. And Chief, you just rolled out the red carpet to all of them, and it's an always honor to attend that presentation. On December the 7th, I attended the Professional Women's Roundtable General Meeting, and where they collected 2,730 jars of peanut butter, and they were distributed to our local food pantries here in town, and 93 blankets, which are being passed out Christmas morning to seniors in need. So that's pretty good. We total blankets, I believe, that were donated was over 1,000. So we have a lot of seniors in need, so that's pretty cool. One of my favorite programs every year is Shop with a Cop, and our officers take time off on their own dollar to be there. No, they don't get paid to be there, and they have made a positive difference in the lives of these families and these kids. And I'll tell you, it is so much fun to watch them light up. There was one little girl who wouldn't leave her mom, and by the end of by the end of the time they were shopping, she was the one on the loudspeaker for the police and turning the lights and sirens on more than anybody. I also had the honor of giving out all the certificates for the Cronin Gym West for the Jitsu International National Award winners this past Sunday. We presented them with the certificates to their owners, but I got to give them to each of the individual winners, and what a great group of respectful young men and women. You can read the rest of my announcements. It's an honor to have served as a council member, and I can't wait to be your mayor pro tem. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Warren. As far as my governing body announcements, you can review them on our website. Madam City Clerk, I need to make some corrections, please. It says spoke at the National Alliance on Mental Illness for NAMI. And then with regards to meeting with the Susan G. Komen Foundation, that was a separate meeting. And another correction is I did not attend the blue light ceremony. That concludes my governing body announcements. Moving on, do any of my colleagues have requests to add any items to future agendas? Seeing none, before I adjourn, I just want to thank everybody for voting me into being your next mayor. I look really forward to our goal session meeting at the end of January. And I look forward to representing along with my fellow colleagues as we move Murrieta forward. So I want to wish everybody a happy, healthy Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year. This meeting is adjourned.